Hey, I'm Hannah.
And I'm Amanda. And this is a podcast where we talk Wyandot business and the people who help run them.
What's up, Wyandot?
All right, we are here with Kerri and Jake Thiel from Shutter Winery on our first official episode. So we are just going to go ahead and hop in with some important questions.
All right.
So
Hi guys.
Oh yeah, so say hello.
Hello, everyone.
Hello. Hello.
So just back to the basics of how you got started. So the winery was your parents' Kerri's
Yes.
before you guys got started.
Yep. So, Mom and Dad, Joe and Cindy Krause, started it in their retirement as a hobby, something they thought would be fun to do. They planted the first vineyard in May of 2009, and I helped plant that vineyard, and I remember it so exquisitely because that was when we got married. So I was like out there in like
What year was that?
2009, honey. Like in a tank top so I could get tan lines for my wedding dress. So I very specifically remember planting the first vineyard in 2009, and then we moved to Wyoming. And Mom and Dad kept pushing forward, planted the back vineyard in 2011, opened the tasting room. We had moved home from Wyoming at that point, opened the tasting room in 2013, or was it 14? 13 or 14.
Did you move home to like help with the winery? Is it because you guys started having kids, or?
Yeah, a little bit of both, I'd say. We had Nash, who was born in August of 13. So the winery opened in 14.
Okay.
Because I was pregnant with Ellie. So we moved home for a ton of reasons, to be closer to family, ultimately. But then, yeah, Jake started helping my dad make the wine and kind of learn the process to start taking over. That was kind of our end goal. So yeah, 2014 we opened the tasting room. We're back here full time, and then you started working with Dad, and then maybe talk about the brewery being added on.
When did you guys officially take over?
Oh yeah, I don't know. Years seem
like
to kind of mesh together as do
Because
the
I think you guys
days.
officially did, because I think that's when I first started. You guys had kind of officially it was like
Bought
yours.
it. Yeah.
So
I think we're starting year 4.
Yeah.
This,
that's what I mean.
yeah. Because it was like at the new year we bought it.
Yeah. And
So
then you
we are
opened the bar.
starting
Yeah.
year 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when did you open the giant barn? That's probably only like 3 years ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, so
It's,
like 2 or 3 years ago that you guys opened the
Probably,
barn.
yeah, probably.
The bigger
yeah.
tasting
Which
room.
has been
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah, it's been fun, and we're
Yeah.
still constantly always talking about what we're gonna do next, like expansion, expanding, and everything.
Because I mean, you guys,
Yeah.
that house obviously real quick got too full,
Well,
and then you had outside, but then I think
Yeah.
even
Exactly.
the barn, I guess is what I call it.
Yeah.
Is even
fine.
getting too small because you guys are like obviously very popular.
Yes.
Oh, very
we
popular.
hope
No,
to be.
no.
and to
We just
continue
like
be.
to have fun.
That's
I mean,
right.
yes, that's all. That's what we like to have fun. We like to make, hopefully, stuff that people enjoy
Yeah.
drinking while they're having fun. So I don't know. Yeah, but that is crazy to think about. The years. It seems like maybe it's been like 20 years, and it's maybe only been three or 4.
Right.
I don't know, but.
Well, what year did you start the brewery?
Yeah. When did you
Yeah,
decide to
I was,
add the brewery? Like, were you like, man, I want to make beer?
'Cause
Well,
we opened
I
in
was doing it. So I was
14.
doing it in Wyoming. Like
Oh,
I've
okay,
always
I know
loved
that.
booze in
Yeah,
general.
they
So
have
like
that.
in Wyoming, I started making wine and then making beer with my science teacher buddy. I don't even know what year that was. 2000.
Well, we lived out there. We moved to
Yeah,
Grable
or
in
something.
2011.
Yeah, to 11. Yeah.
So,
But just
yeah.
and then I started making rocket fuel. Realized nobody wants to drink rocket fuel.
No.
Which can lead us into another segment of rocket fuel right now.
Oh,
But I started making it and then realized like there's more beyond that, flavors and more beyond the light beers and stuff. So
I mean, you even have
So
like beer slushies at this point.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
no other person has done it yet. So like, at least I'll have gone on record to say that we were the first to do it, but it doesn't mean anything.
Right.
So we're trying to push that to kind of another level too. And this
Yeah.
year we're going to be pushing it a little harder, probably more than anything, just because it kind of stands out a little more in stores. But
Yeah. It's so true, because you guys rolled out, obviously the cans were a huge thing,
Mm-hmm.
especially like people being at home with COVID, to get the cans and having them like freeze in their own house and make them was
Right.
well, yeah.
so good.
That was
And-
huge for
that
us.
was
Well, yeah,
huge.
and so what's cool, Amanda, is that like that was crazy. So like we pour myself a nice little helping.
You know this. Yes, we're drinking summer breeze
Cheers.
while
Yes.
doing
Yeah.
the podcast here.
We're drinking summer breeze. Actually, little side note, this was we just won a bronze at the American Wine Competition. We haven't really released it yet because I'm making like a kind of a funny video with us all in it. But we were one of 6 Ohio wineries
To win
any
to
awards.
win any awards, and we got it for a Riesling. So this is actually pretty big. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's got a bronze, and then we got 2 silvers. Actually, this one we haven't even released yet. It's a wild one, but yeah, we got the silver on. That's the highest scoring wine we've ever got, and we haven't released it yet to like anybody's.
Wow.
People have had it if they've come out.
Yeah.
But like,
Now, is that like the grape kind, or?
Yeah.
Because I
This
think-
is, Proverbs.
Yes, because
Yes.
I've tested the waters of that, and let me
Yeah.
tell you, by the
Yes.
time I got home, I was
Yeah.
very happy.
Yeah.
Feeling good. Yeah.
But yeah, that's why we put it in a small bottle. But back to like the slushies and whatnot. Last year we threw it out because so many people, we were selling the slushies in boxes and then our wine on top of it. And it was expensive, and people kept saying, Jake, it doesn't taste the same when I take it home, throw it in the freezer. I was like, well, yeah, you
Well,
don't have to.
before you canned it.
Before
like
we
the,
canned it.
Right, because I even tried the box.
of-
and I'm like,
Yes.
this is
Yeah.
It's
cool,
like
but-
you don't have the magic. Like I
You don't.
screwed around with it to the point like I'm not gonna give you something. So that's what they're like. Hey,
Right.
package it.
Yeah.
And so I literally just figured out how to do that. But COVID hit, and we were looking at pouches and doing it another way, which thankfully that got delayed. So then we just threw it in cans because there's can shortage, all this crazy stuff.
Yeah.
So we just did it, and we're like, yeah, it'll be a boutique kind of thing, and it kind of took off a little quicker than we thought. And we ended up doing it, having to have a brewery come and can it for us 3 times, which is awesome,
It was
so much
huge.
fun.
It was like hard to
It is,
even get
yeah.
it, because I mean, trying to
It would
jump on
sell
the
out
train and
so
Well,
because I was
quickly.
buying, because I wanted it. So like, I mean, I would buy like a 12-pack of each one, because I mean, you didn't know if you could get it at the
Yeah.
next one, because as soon as it came out,
Right.
people were like, wow,
It's
we got
gone.
these in our
Yeah.
house, because I mean,
Yes.
people like to get them when they're there.
Yeah.
So,
So
sure.
it's going to be fun this year. We're doing what we wanted to do originally because we had time. We closed earlier because of COVID and whatnot, and kind of focused on growth in whatever way we could with Kerri teaching. So she does that, but I was trying to figure out how can we push forward, and. So this next year, and that's what I brought actually a sample of one of the blueberry slushies, and it's cool. It's gonna be like a pirate-based slushie. So I've been making videos and songs and stuff. We haven't released anything yet. So and we've got a whole new platform and packaging. So like we're gonna go from, we know the cost of the slushies was expensive, but we did it to survive and see if it would even work, and it did. So now we're actually half the cost. We're going to put them out next year. They were like $4.50 a can last year. Now we're down to $2.79.
oh wow,
Like
oh gosh, and you're gonna have
we had
more
time,
demand
yeah.
too.
So we had time. So if anything, it slowed us down.
Well, and more flavors. We're gonna do
Yeah.
5
more flavors. Yeah. It's gonna be
Oh
fun.
my goodness,
Yeah.
It's
especially
crazy.
with the blue raz is what I always get.
Yes.
Instead of Kindle
Yeah.
slushy.
Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing too is like I feel like every year you guys are like even bigger than the year before, so you're like almost not prepared every year of being like, oh my gosh, we've even doubled in size. Because I know somebody's
Yeah.
like, we're out of this. We didn't think it was gonna be as popular. People love it, so it's like
Right.
you guys are continuing to like having
Yeah.
to expand.
Yeah.
It's been
It
a wild
is.
ride for sure. Like
Yeah.
currently we are out of 5 of our wines, either through like distribution. We, hit it hard with distribution this past summer.
Awesome.
Well, crazy, like
Yeah.
Because you guys are like a far as up towards like the lake, right?
Yeah, we're up at the lake quite a bit. We're in.
Which is huge. I mean,
A lot of
people just,
places.
you know, from
Yeah.
Nevada to be all the way out there.
Yeah,
Right.
and that's what we kind of got axed on last year, so we think about that too with like the slushies, or in the wines even. Had we been able to go to stores and Kerri and I stand behind a desk for an
And do,
hour
like, a
and just like
live
tell people like,
tasting.
hey, this is a Riesling, we we make it all like this, talk about it. We weren't able to do that, so we just really got kind of cut out from under us. But so we were, and this isn't even a thing yet, but another thing, but we've been putting QR codes on all of our labels, so people can just be, anybody that doesn't know anything about it can just take their phone, which I don't even know how to do it. Kerri tells me,
Yeah.
you can hold your phone to that,
Yeah.
and it takes you to a YouTube video of insanity of like
Yeah.
whatever my mind
Crazy
ventured in.
that. Yes.
Yeah, I did that
so
with
like,
the can, so you guys like,
Yeah.
like if you got the can, obviously there's like little
Yeah.
signs to it, you have to put it in the freezer or anything like that. So you can like just
Yeah.
scan the
Scan
QR,
it.
there's a video of how to.
well, yeah, so we made a new one, and Kerri's actually singing in the new
Oh,
one.
I didn't
Oh yes.
Yeah, her and her sister.
Yeah,
her and
Megan
sister
and I
singing,
are both in the
and
background.
I rap.
I love Megan's little videos. It's like, let me show
she-
you.
yeah.
Moments with
Oh
Megan.
yeah, when
That
she
was
did it,
great.
and you know what is crazy, when she does those, she doesn't rehearse, she doesn't have a
Oh, it's
script,
not
she
like the
literally
first
off her
night.
head, and
She's
yeah.
actually funny.
And I told her, I was like, Megan, out of all the things, like, it takes me like 2 months to like put this together. Like, when I first started making the videos, 3 years ago, I would just sit up late in my shanty, after a few beers, too
Yeah.
many, and like make the video and then talk and record whatever. There was no script, and like it wasn't good. Like, she's so good. I was like, it's frustrating.
Yes, naturally
Like, now I'm
hysterical.
trying to,
Yeah.
She is naturally hysterical.
It's frustrating.
I love her when
It's
she's just
good.
like, oh, hello. Like,
Well,
well,
hello.
see you there.
I know. We need to bring her back.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, she'll
She's
be back
why we need
this
on
year.
here.
Yeah.
She'll be back.
Yeah, but we're just we tried to also kind of like hunker down, avoid the maybe catastrophic asteroids that could have been flown our way because of COVID or anything else. So
Kind of like the unknown of what happened.
and like prepare for this summer and like explosion, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You almost have to like
It's what we-
rethink your whole process just in case.
Right.
What's good too, cause like we get for me, like at the end of the year, my eyeballs are about as red as my shirt, like it's just strung out from
Yeah.
constantly moving and never being able to really sit and think. So the winter time it's been pretty fun for 3 years to be able to like in the winter time kind of like go hibernate and recoup and actually you'll be able to taste what a new like hibernation Jake is trying to do. Yeah. So, and then hopefully every year we can kind of do something like that, like, hey, this is what a fun new thing we're working on.
Now I know you like talked about it before. Like, have you canned beer yet, or is that stuff for the future?
We have.
Because I know you had one that like tasted just like a Miller Lite. It was like
Yeah, so I actually got it. I brought it too.
Nice. I'm so glad I brought it
Should
up.
we just start?
Actually.
How much time do we have? Because
Right.
I'm trying to like, and so actually, so the first beer we're gonna can at a big quantity is gonna be Beach Please.
Oh,
It's-
it's my favorite.
So
I
it's
know,
old.
yeah.
It's old. It's the Old
Oh.
Till Light that tastes, like Miller Lite, Busch Light, Natty Light.
I love Beach Please.
But I infuse it with some goodness. It's just that beer infused with some country
Kind of
time
like a
stuff.
watermelon taste.
Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, the watermelon
Yeah, because
shandy.
we had the steak fry. I think it was like 2. It wasn't the
Ooh.
one that we just had at the winery. It was
2
the year
years
before,
ago.
and he brought it, and I was like, holy.
That one came out of
Yeah.
left field. Yeah, I don't think we anticipated people liking that like they
No,
did.
and it was
It's
like.
just the perfect summer beer.
It is.
Like, it's refreshing, it's light,
And even
and it
yeah.
goes down so
So-
good.
It does.
So
Yeah, because
good.
I was getting like the gallon.
Yeah.
things.
The howlers.
Yeah.
Yeah, the howlers. I'm like,
Yeah,
it's
it's good.
so good. Because it is. It's very light light and refreshing for the
Uh-huh.
summer.
Yeah.
If you like don't want like a heavy beer, or if you don't want like the sweetness of a wine, I think it's like that in between.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
Yeah.
guys and girls both. Like
Right.
it's like the perfect combination.
It's literally, to me, I was actually just explaining this to somebody the other day. This is like drinking a Gatorade in the summer. Like,
Yes.
you're gonna drink Miller Lite, Busch Light, whatever, all day. But like, at some point, I've talked to enough dudes where they come up and they're like, I need to have something. I need to refresh myself. And it's like the perfect, so you don't look like you're skimming out on drinking beer. You know, you're still
Yeah,
drinking
like
it.
smearing off
Yeah.
something.
Yeah.
Because I know, like, I brought my uncle out there, and he was like, oh, you know, like some like shandies or some, you know, some people think it's girly or anything like that.
Right.
And he had it, and he's like, oh, that's like perfect, because it's not like so
Yeah.
sweet.
Right. It's a good.
Yeah.
It's right
Yeah,
in the
that's
middle.
what
And it's right in the middle.
I'll drink
Yeah.
it to kind of like give me a boost.
I
It's
would
like
say
the
that was my
Gatorade.
favorite.
We're gonna call it the Gatorade of beers.
There it
Yes.
is. It is.
It's
It is
new
nice to have
motto.
something
Yeah.
that's refreshing and not like heavy.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so that we're gonna can that one and try it and see, because we're more set up, for wine, but
Yeah.
the beer we can push it. We always try to push the limits of everything we can do and see what happens. I mean, the worst that's gonna happen is people won't like it,
Well, right,
and
that's
then
what
I'll
I learned.
drink it.
Yeah. Right. It
We'll
won't
take
take
it
it.
now. That's no problem.
I see no failure here.
Yeah. So then, okay, so what beer is the highest percentage that you have? Is that the Frog? Is that Frog Lady?
No, so it's actually Hammer of Thor, and we're
Oh,
doing
awesome.
more of that. Yeah, the Hammer of Thor has gained quite a good.
A reputation.
Following,
Yeah.
yeah.
I
Yeah.
cannot even drink that. I think
Yes.
this one is like one.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Yeah.
That's- well,
I-
and that's why don't you talk a little bit about like
Yeah.
the process, maybe like it's a
the product.
bourbon barrel.
Well,
Oh.
the story is where it starts, but like you said, to keep this PG-13. So like
Like,
I
maybe
will
don't talk about the
I
story.
will avoid the story, which
Yeah,
is on
the
YouTube
namesake.
in a very. I put it on YouTube in a very like roundabout way of explaining what the story comes from.
Okay.
So like if you could play it for your grandmother and it wouldn't be offensive,
Okay.
right? Like,
Well, I think maybe.
Depending
You
on
can
who your
play it.
grandma
You
is.
can play it for
I
your
feel
mother,
like
it wouldn't be
maybe not
offensive.
your grandma.
Now on YouTube it's just White Shutter Winery. Is that where they
Yep,
get it?
White Shutter
Okay,
Winery
So
Brewery.
you guys can
Yeah.
take a pause and go watch that
Oh
and come
yeah,
back.
it's funny. We've
Come
been
back.
putting them on there for 3 years, and only as a way for like, we make these videos, and Kerri obviously and the kids get in them, or I have them in it, but it's our way of like scrapbooking our, what's going on
Yeah.
throughout our lives. It's pretty fun because that's. My parents used to have the big old camera
You literally
hanging
just
on their
talk about
shoulder,
We just talked about that Christmas. My
Yes.
dad would like set up a tripod, the camcorder,
Yeah.
and they would get open presents.
Aw.
And like, all right, let's go. And I'm like, I missed that. Like, you
Right,
know.
we don't do that. Like, you
No,
have your
I don't even
photos,
know who does. Yeah,
and,
I don't
they're-
know.
and then you never do
And
anything
like-
But
with
then you
the
never see it.
videos.
You gotta find
Yeah.
it.
And most people don't hold their phone, in front of their face for more than maybe. I don't know.
Oh.
Actually, I'm gonna retract whatever I was gonna say. Some people can hold it for a long time.
Yes.
Yeah.
But still, like, I mean, it's not as like memorable. Like when you like set it up, it's like you knew you were gonna be together, and like it wasn't like people sitting on their phones and someone just recording. It's
Sure.
like everyone's
Right.
gotta make a memory. So I think, I
Yeah.
mean, it's definitely interesting videos and they're funny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's a way to like also see like how much our business has grown on top of like how much our kids are growing, like right along the whole process of it. It's just
It's
fun.
fun.
And the kids like to watch
They-
themselves on YouTube. We put it on our TV.
They
and they
love
just
it.
think it's
Yeah,
hysterical.
they think
like they're
they think-
famous.
They're,
Yeah,
yeah,
they
they
think-
they're famous.
They think they're so famous, and we're like, hey, there's only like 100 people that watch this.
Like, hey.
I mean,
Well-
that's 100 views. That's a
Right.
big deal.
Well, it's funny now because at the end of some of the videos, the kids are like, "Hey, like and subscribe."
Like and
Trust
subscribe.
does it all the time.
They don't even
We're like,
know what
"Oh,
that means.
you
Hey,
guys."
it's alright. It'll just still be sitting here for
Yep.
you.
So what are we trying? What's our
Yeah,
next
This is
so
Old
flavor
Milwaukee.
here?
So this is Old Milwaukee.
Okay.
This is what's going to be. This is the base before I use.
Before you add the beach, please.
Yeah,
goodies.
before the beach, please. Heaviness. So to me, this is like wine. Like you need to have a great base, and then you can add the flavor after.
So
it.
babe, how many versions of Old Till are you on now?
Oh.
So maybe
Oh yeah.
like have
So,
a minor
we're on-
conversation about what
We're on
77?
70. Yeah, no, I made 78 yesterday with my friend Derek, who's out of Shovel City Drinkery in Marion. They just opened a bar during COVID here this last year, but he came.
This
We're
smells
making
pretty.
It's good.
We're making a beer with with him for his bar, but I also made some more Old Till because I'm still trying to get ready to make sure. Like
I know you keep saying
this is
you're
my
trying to perfect it.
100. Yeah,
Every time.
this is this is going on year 4. Like this is the hardest beer ever to make.
Well, especially if you're gonna can it and put it out there, you like want it to be like what you.
Well,
want.
it's for all the people the people like I guess the drinkers that I used to be. You know, like.
Well, we
the
need like a
hillbillies.
solid
Yeah.
Wyandot County beer. You know,
Yeah.
like
Well, it's
the
for-
light,
yeah.
Like the
the
people
light
who go and like
lovers.
buy a Bud Light, you want to be like,
Absolutely.
oh, I'm grabbing
Well,
like a
Right,
Bud Light.
and that's
And it-
when they come to the bar. They ask for, you know, what's the most
See, we
similar
used
to
to-
Miller Lite, Bud
Well,
Light,
and
Coors
it's-
Light.
And
So
it's hard. This is
we had
gonna be
to
a
make
long
something.
time before we can it because this is for like the hillbilly beer, but like I don't want to can it till I'm 100% certain, and like it's gonna take me a couple more years to can just this because like you know that's how I
gonna be it.
started off as light beer drinker. And I don't want to offend any of them. I want to make sure that they're all on the same wavelength, and we're starting to finally make the shift, which is good, but it's still in a couple years. I'll finally be happy with it and settle. Like I won't settle until like I'm happy with it.
Yeah, and then that's what Kerri, you said. Then that's what Beach Please is made out of, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So this is the base.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It almost is kind of fruity now, or is that just because we had wine before?
Probably 'cause I
Yeah.
Like,
This is good.
it doesn't smell fruity, but it almost has a fruity aftertaste. And
You're a fruity aftertaste.
good one.
Good one there. But that's what I think one thing that's great about the winery is like people like my dad, not a wine drinker, typical Bud Light.
Yep.
So he'll try. I mean, he's not big into IPAs, but it's one of those like he'll come out there, like because he wants to sit out and like listen to the music.
Right, for
So
sure.
now it's like he has something because I feel like I've been on this journey with you.
Yeah.
I've been out there quite a few years now.
Yeah.
But like I remember before you guys even took over, and it was just like the house, and we would do like paintings, and it was the wine,
Yeah,
and I remember
sure.
how like crowded it was. Like you
Yeah.
couldn't get up because so many people like started getting into it, and then to think like the way it was then to like now, it's like a whole like another realm of like you do volleyball, you do weddings, you do wine, you do beer, like
Yeah,
you have
but
your stage.
even at the very beginning, when our parents still owned it, like when we came back, we were like pushing, like let's pack it, let's do all we can, because at the end of the day, it's we're in a small county in the middle of nowhere, with no major city really close around us that anybody wants to come to.
Even getting off the highway, you have to know you're going to stop there.
Yeah.
It's like not.
So
Right,
if we got 3 days, let's do whatever we can in those 3 days is let's try this, let's try this. It's really, but it's hard. It's hard
Yeah.
to be in a small county. It's awesome, but it's also very hard to want to grow beyond it.
Right.
And
Yeah.
But I think there's really positive things to say about where we live and the county that we are, because we have such a great following and such
Oh my gosh,
great
yeah.
county,
Oh, yeah.
local, the support that we get from our people here in the county, I think is ginormous and just amazing.
Oh, it is.
And I feel like people brag about it because like some people I've heard they'll be like, oh, do you guys have anything? And like we have a winery.
That's awesome.
Like some people don't
Yeah.
have that. Like I mean,
Sure,
some people
sure.
don't have winery or breweries, and it's like a hidden gem. Is like what I say.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like
Aw,
you
thanks.
don't know it's there, but like once you know it's there, you go. Like for instance, like I said, like I brought my uncle out there. Like he's from Jersey. He didn't know about Nevada. He's originally from here, but now it's like. Which it's always on a Sunday, but he's always like, hey, are they open? And I'm like, listen, you can go to Party Pack and get your wine and stuff. So it's like people that like, when he comes through town, he's like, I need to stop there. So it's almost like you guys make an impression to the fact that people want to make
that's
art.
It's also been hard because from when her parents were owning it, we've had those friends of ours and friends especially that come to mind, Mark and Tammy Kaiser, that like for instance, they love our grape garden. We just got a silverware. They live right down the road from the winery, and they stop there. They stop there all the time, and or stop the winery all the time. And I very much value their opinion because they had it from the very beginning. We just got a silver at the American Wine Competition on their, like I call it like their wine,
Yeah.
I let them dictate to me
Like
how
too
much.
sweet, not sweet
Yeah,
enough.
how to work it. And those guys told me one time, they're like, I liked it when it was just in the house and it was small. I love what you've done. It's just, and it's like, man, I wish we could be that small and still survive,
And be
But
successful. That's the hard
But
part.
that's what our part is. It's like, well, do you just try to be in the middle or just shoot for the stars? And I mean, you guys, like, you can look at me and see like,
You're gonna shoot
yeah,
the
like
stars.
actually the planet that isn't even
Yeah.
existing that anybody can see. Like, I've always been that way, but that's always been a hard thing to like. Something we don't ever want to lose, And I mean, any of the neighbors or anyone that ever drives and pulls in and I'm there will tell you that, like, still very much away. Like, hey, try this. What do you think? Like,
Right.
it's
It's good
still-
that you like value other. It's not
Oh,
just like what you
100%.
guys like, because you're like,
Oh yeah.
tell me what you
We
like.
I have
kind
my
of
own
joke,
taste.
yeah.
We all have our-
Well,
we
we
all
all
have
have
our
our own taste, but
Right.
like we kind of joke that we have like different groups of friends for different taste tests.
Yeah.
Like Kurt and Sarah are dry red people. We
Yeah.
like them. We've had so many different wine tastings with them just because we value their dry red opinion.
Yeah, that's what they
And like with
and it's
Old
good.
Tail, like Jake has
Old
a
Tail,
crew
that-
of like, okay, I need you to come out because I think I may have mastered it, and then he gets feedback, and we're on version 78.
Yeah, but-
That's
well,
awesome.
But
Yeah.
then from it's crazy. Yeah, and Old Till, that's gonna eventually be the county. That'll be the county beer. I'm still working on 11. I've got 11 dudes that are Wyandot County's.
Yeah.
They're the lightest drinkers, but
Yeah.
I work on and I do the Pepsi challenge with them. Like whatever I know their beer is, I'll put Old Till, and then I mess around with them. But once it's done, it'll be good. Oh, we gotta wrap it up.
Yeah, no. So
Oh,
we're just gonna take a little break.
Have some words from our sponsors, just a couple seconds, and we'll be right back. This episode is sponsored by Kimmel Corporation. Operating in Northwest Ohio for 4 generations, they are a proud producer of uniform rentals, mat services, linen rentals, and more. Give them a call at 1-800-334-4975.
All right, cheers. We're
Cheers.
back.
Yes.
Welcome back.
Yes, and actually at home while you're listening to this podcast, if you don't have a White Shutter beverage in your hand, you should to join us. So Jake, what did you just pour all of
What is
us?
this?
So, ladies, I just poured the first ever Jake's Private's stock.
And it is. Are you gonna leave us hanging?
It's aged in a George Dickel whiskey barrel.
It's delicious.
It's
Can't even take
all right.
it
Yeah.
seriously.
So it's literally this is our new one. But this is going to be a premium red wine. Well, it's 100% estate grown. We're literally throwing in a George Dickel barrel that we got out of Nebraska because it makes sense for George Dickel to be made in like Tennessee, to the barrels be shipped to Nebraska for us to get it in Ohio. But
Regardless,
it costs a lot of money just to even get it here. But yeah,
what
so.
great varietals did you use?
Well, so we used some de Chaunac, Marchal Foch, Marquette, none of which anyone in probably the continental United States will have any idea what those varieties are.
Right,
So,
but comparable to.
dry red wines.
Right.
That's what they're comparable to.
Yes, so in non-grape grower world, I would compare this to not quite a Cab, not quite a Merlot. It doesn't have that dry bite to it, but definitely a dry red.
Yeah, because I'm not a big dry red drinker, but this is good.
Yeah,
I feel like
and
pretty-
it's not done.
It's got good flavor.
I literally just pulled it out of the barrel,
That's good.
so it's still like maybe some vanilla, a little bit of vanilla flavor you get out of a barrel, but a little bit of whiskey.
It's got that
it's-
dry taste, but it's not like
Mhm.
overbearing. Dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not too dry.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we're trying to combine the two of the 30 things that I love the most, and 2 of them are wine and whiskey. So
Those are good things to love.
the old lady is the third one.
I come in third, or
No, I just
Not in
need
that
one,
order.
one of
Having
the
in between,
three
one
that
of
I
the
just
I
said.
should
Yes.
probably be number one.
Yeah.
I just one of the three.
Regardless.
Regardless. You made the top 3.
Yeah, I'm in the top 3.
Yeah.
That's a win.
Yeah.
Thanks, babe.
Okay, so when is your first opening? Because I told him, like, you guys, I usually do my birthday weekend.
Yes, we usually do May. You
But
are
I've
correct.
seen March, right?
So we have a few things scheduled for May. We're gonna open regularly June 5th this year. Pushed it back a
Okay.
month. Yep. Waiting for COVID to maybe take a back seat a little bit. Hopefully things are better planned, better laid out.
Yeah.
So June 5th with Eric Sowers.
Oh.
Again, he opened for us last year too. It's a trio, so he's bringing 3 of his guys. They'll take over the Shutter stage. We'll have a food truck there. Super excited about that.
I think that's awesome too, you guys always bring in like local food trucks.
Yeah, we've got some different food trucks planned for this year too. Some different people reached out to us to see if they could be a part of our, our Saturday night music night. So pretty excited about that. Get some different people in there.
Yeah. And you guys
Yeah.
also do wedding ceremonies now?
Yes, so that's been.
Which I feel like that's been really busy lately.
It's been crazy busy, and very fortunately, through all of last year with COVID, people kept pushing their weddings back. The ones that were scheduled March, April, May, even June, ended up pushing back either to like the fall or even into this year. I think last year we had about 12 weddings booked.
Wow.
A couple of them rolled over into this year, but currently I'm sitting at, for 2021, I have 10 weddings and receptions scheduled for this
Oh my
year.
gosh.
Yeah, so that's awesome. And that's an area that we're looking to expand, definitely.
Yeah, because
sure.
that was just something that like I feel like just picked up. Like you guys do, like graduation parties. I mean,
Yeah.
especially like I said with that new barn out there, like
Right.
that's perfect for. There have been baby showers out there, weddings out
Yes,
there.
my favorite honestly are the baby showers because I just love that the concept of a baby shower, and then like the only person that can't drink is obviously the mom.
person
I know.
that's
But like,
there.
why not make it fun for everybody else that's there?
Right, if you're gonna be there. I mean,
Like,
she's gonna
let's
have
have fun
presents.
here.
Well,
So, yeah.
and we finally have been able to get, so the wine, obviously helped us get those, but then the slushies added a whole new dimension. It gave us a whole new audience, and then the light beer is finally starting to drag the hillbillies in, which I as one. But like it's fun because like they'll come out and they're like, I only drink Natty Light, I'm like, just try this, man. Like,
Yeah.
just give it a nip, and or if I'm not there, somebody else. But like, it's
most
fine.
of the
It's
time,
finally, it's
they're
finally,
content.
finally starting to gain their trust, I suppose. But like also, I'm working on it, and without support, we wouldn't be able to keep trying to perfect anything really. So that's what's crazy is like, there's the support of the slushies, the wine, the beer, all of that is just balled into one big giant snowball, and we're like, in the wintertime, like I say, when the summer's over, I tell her sometimes, it's like, man, I don't know what it's like to be a rock star. Certainly we're not one of them, but like, it's like we're on the road and all summer long and just like going into bars, stores and telling the same stories, the same things, the same, it's crazy. I love it.
So it's like
it's
you're on a
fun.
tour all summer.
It is.
It
It
really
really
is,
is. And at the end, but like that tour involves drinking, which we always have somebody like to take us somewhere, or like the Uber, like, hey, mom, dad, you keep the kids. Like it's gonna be a wild weekend, Like this summer, we're trying to get and do a country concert. So our slushies, we've been in contact with those guys, and they're still waiting to see what falls. But we may get in with our slushies at country concert. We're already going down there. Like
We'll be there regardless.
we'll make a name.
Right.
We'll make a name
Yeah.
regardless.
Hopefully we can sell it.
Yeah.
But
Which is crazy to think, like, you go to, country concert and, like, say one of the actual famous singers are, like, sitting on stage, like, drinking one, like,
Oh
of
my
your beers or
gosh,
something.
that
like,
would be
because they go to
amazing.
go get something. And it's
Right.
like, I think you're, like, I don't want to say that big now, but, like, the fact
Right,
that, like,
yeah.
you go and some famous country singer's just like, oh, this is good, I'm going to drink this.
Yeah, on stage.
On
That would
stage.
be
Like,
phenomenal.
you just see it. It's just like a
Right.
beer that you get now. Just like I said, like, Bud Light or Budweiser. It's like, you go to the store now and, like,
Right.
you're like, hey, can you pick that up for me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah.
100%.
Especially like, concerts like that where there's so many people from everywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and hopefully, like all of the insanity that's gone on makes people realize it helps people like us grow to another level that is beyond the Anheuser-Busch, beyond the Miller Lite people. Like it's hard. It's really hard in this environment. Those two companies own over 60% of the entire market share of our entire industry. So like to even get on a shelf in a store is hard for her and I because there's
Because we're not allowed. In some places they have a contract with these bigger brewers that
Maybe
It
we
is.
should be
It's
maybe
hard.
we should be
It's
on the
so
Super
hard.
Bowl now because they're not going to be
Yeah.
Super Bowl commercials. Here's your time to shine.
Oh yeah.
The Weiser pulled out. They're not going to spend their money on the Super Bowl, so like, here, it's your time.
Oh, but
Okay,
you know what? I
Jake Thiel,
do
right?
love
I'm sure I would make it
Man.
really appropriate.
Those
Super
live
People
still
be like, what did I
commercials,
just
man,
see?
No kidding.
Yeah.
They're going to be like, oh, well, let's go to Nevada, Ohio.
Yeah. And
that's
meanwhile,
what everyone's
Nevada, Ohio.
Ohio.
Oh my gosh.
Insanity is insane. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I think part of the really fun summer parts, obviously I'm not teaching in the summer months, but like our good friends Bert and Elsa Dybel have a place up at the lake. And so they're a huge part of why we were able to get into Cheese Haven up there, Bassett's, we're in Burns Brew House now. A lot of those connections are through them.
Yeah.
And we get to take our kids on all these like little mini vacations now because we're in up there. Like it's a valid, like we're gonna push our product, we're gonna promote the crap out of it, but we're also gonna have like a mini vacation with our kids at the same time.
Yeah. So we gotta
So
go
that's
and
been huge.
we gotta go and teach our kids like, hey, you gotta don't act like a wild animal in the
Well,
store.
no, but I
Like
think
try
we're
to like.
also implementing like work hard to play hard.
Right,
Like
yeah.
we've got to like work, we got to get into all these places and promote, and then we can have a day to like chill at the beach.
Yeah,
Well,
you're going to have all that good
Sometimes,
stuff.
and like a lot of times,
Yeah,
I
exactly.
come home at the end of the night or at the end of the day, strung out from just going to store to store to store to bar to bar to store, and like, they're all having fun, and I'm the one that wants to have fun, and I'm like not, and I get there, I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
it's crazy.
Well, I know Elsa and I have already been mapping out our like March weekends to like start getting, because March is when a lot of places, especially up at the lake, like start to like prepare. So like we're not on the islands yet, like Put in Bay, Kelly's, we're not on there yet. So like that's definitely a push to get over on the islands for some of our stuff too.
Because I remember you guys posted, like, during the COVID and stuff, you guys pushed, like, anybody out there who wants to keep our stuff, and, like, the support
100%.
of, like, the people that, like, we want you in our store, like,
Absolutely.
like the Sycamore drive-thru, stuff like that was,
Yep, we're
we
in
want you
there.
here. So it's,
Yeah.
like, the fact that, like, the winery's closed, the fact that you can go just down the street.
Yeah, the
and-
local-
100%, and that's been
locals so
huge. Yeah, the local support, like we can't say enough about like the surrounding areas, like not just upper, we're in Kerri in a couple different spots, we're getting into Tiffin in a couple of different spots now,
Yeah.
like Findlay, we're not quite in Findlay yet, but we're working on it.
Yeah.
We were at Logan's,
And that's
but we're working on it.
That's a fun thing about say Sycamore. Yeah, that's one thing about so Aaron over at the Sycamore drive-thru. He's got our stuff, and like I grew up. My old man took care of the Sowers boys as a chiropractor, so I've known those guys all
You're kind of like him.
forever. Yeah, and
His videos.
but like for me and Eric we're I got a song we're really trying it for our opening. There's some details I guess supposed to we'll release, but we're gonna try to shoot a video for the song. Him and I did last year. It's fun stuff. Like it's crazy. Like maybe it means nothing, but it's so fun to do. And it's for a beer. It's for a beer that I made. Was it last year? I wrote the song. It's
You wrote
crazy.
the song last
I
year,
wrote the
but
song
I think the beer is 2 years
on our way
old.
to the beer fest in Denver. It
So
was
it would've been 2
it was
years
crazy.
ago.
We were on a plane, and I was
2
like,
years ago, last year.
and not to say that it's good, but it was. He liked it enough to want to record it, and I've been working with my buddy Ben to finish it this winter, and we had just keep laying stuff down. It's weird. Like I don't know. I'm no artist of any kind. I just know what I like. I don't like to hear it. It's crazy. But anyways, so we're trying to work on that with Eric for
the opening.
Yeah, to have some
Got a couple months.
to shoot some videos, so we can encapsulate it in time. You know.
Yeah. So you're gonna do that your opening day?
Yeah, I think so.
Playing.
I missed the opening day last year.
Did you?
We're not gonna actually talk about it.
Long story short, we had a slushy. How much time we got?
We have time.
Oh, nice.
Alright.
We were camping our slushy up at the lake. Got in an accident on the way back on opening night, and it spilled all over 53 right in front of Cheesehaven. It was terrible. Kerri didn't know any of this, and we showed up like
Missed opening night.
at 8:30.
This guy.
Cans were all crushed.
It was no bueno.
She was not
Our opening
happy.
night.
Yeah. So we're hoping to have like a huge opening night again this year. Same crew. We're gonna set up things very differently to try to be more obviously COVID safe. We're gonna have outdoor bars set up this year.
Accommodate the huge crowd that you
100%. Yeah. So like just be able to accommodate, like you said, accommodate bigger people. Yeah, so outdoor, like cash only bars that, don't have to necessarily run a tab, we don't have to run electricity to there,
Go get it.
Yeah. So we're already starting, all of those conversations are in the works. We're bringing on a couple of new bartenders this year. Just trying to, change things up a little bit.
Yeah. We now have our annual steak fry out there.
Yes,
So we
which
ran.
was so
Yeah,
fun
it was
last
so
year.
fun. We had a few things just to break.
The wind. It was the wind. We can't help Mother Nature. That's the
It
only
was
part.
awful.
Didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, to
Yeah.
our tent.
The tents were like
I
flying.
came in, I'm like, why is it tied to this?
Right, that was a Jake-ism. Yeah.
But you know what?
I tied it because it was about ready to blow.
Oh, yeah.
Right, but then the other side ended up blowing. And,
Yeah, it was just awful.
But it was still good.
Oh,
the
yeah,
turnout
and
was
It
great.
ended up being
Yeah.
great, and then we took a poll, and
Well,
they went
that-
up there again.
And that's one of the
Nice.
things
So
we're like
nice.
trying to figure out now is like expansion of our building. So adding some restrooms, which I know like don't have any but one.
Big concern, yeah.
So
All of that is in the works.
it is. It's just
We're working with-
a matter of like.
Get
Yeah.
those fancy porta potties.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
bathrooms.
I know, those are super nice.
Yeah.
We're looking at a whole new building.
Oh, like actually having like full bathrooms.
Like an event center kind of idea
Yeah.
to accommodate. A lot of the weddings we have, we'll do the wedding and then we're not large enough to hold their reception.
Right.
So they'll go elsewhere for a reception. We want to be able to hold and host both for everybody,
Well, we like to think that it's pretty like, it's nice coming out there because, 9, 10 o'clock, everybody's out of there, so the liability is off everyone. Like at 10 o'clock, rather than staying at a reception hall till
Midnight.
midnight or
Yeah.
1, there's no, man, I've been to plenty of weddings, there's no sense being there.
Well, and that's what we
That
kind of joke
late,
about when
It's
people
not.
say like, "Oh wait, why you're only open till 9?" And we kind of joke like, "Well, really, nothing good happens after 9 p.m. out here."
Yeah.
Like you have those, like I sit out there, like you have the stragglers to sit there, but like really that's is when things sit down. So it's like
Right,
if you want to
and
sit out
it's-
there in the
Yeah, and
lights,
100%. If you want to stay outside and have a fire and listen to the band,
No,
I
it's
mean,
gonna drag it
whatever,
out.
that's fine.
yeah.
But past 9, it usually gets to be a little
What is it? Nothing. Yeah.
crazy,
Nothing
Yeah,
happens
so-
after.
So
Midnight,
Jake,
so we might as well cut it off 3 hours early.
right? It
Or
just
even
goes
starts-
downhill. It goes
it does.
way downhill
yeah,
past
so
9.
ladies, Jake's Privates,
Yeah.
it's
It's really.
It
It
just-
really
yeah.
good. It's really
I
good.
take it back. I take
It's
it
so
back.
good.
I know as soon as I say it.
Yeah, it's all.
This episode is sponsored by Kimmel Corporation. Operating in Northwest Ohio for 4 generations, they are a proud producer of uniform rentals, mat services, linen rentals, and more. Give them a call at 1-800-334-4975.
All right, Proverbs 21:17.
Yes, let's talk about that. So, this is a wine that we have not released yet. Kerri and I have been working on it for 7 years. We're working on a video right now for it before we release it. But it's funny, we made it last year, and I'm just still not ready to release it. But Proverbs 20, it's very important to me. Proverbs 21:17 says,
He that loveth pleasure shall be a poor man. He that loveth wine shall not be rich. So essentially, the King James Version of the Bible says I'm going to be poor my entire life.
Oh.
Entire life. It literally says that. Proverbs 21:17. So I made this wine, but I've been making it, ever since we moved back to Ohio. I got Steve Rawls grapes up at Raw Supply, man. He let me come pick. We were getting 15 gallons off, and we were giving it to people as Christmas gifts. And so what I do is distill and then distill it. I make it, distill it, add it back. So it's 20%. It's a port. It's not meant to be. Yeah, it's not meant to be drank cold. It's like a hunting wine. So like you go hunting, you shoot a deer, you pull Proverbs out. Yeah,
Keeps you warm out there.
Yeah,
Very
100%. Yeah, so
strong,
it's
but good
but
smell.
we just got a silver award at the American Wine Competition on this. So we're working on, I guess, releasing it, even though we have it. I don't know why we're not trying to with timing and all that's I suppose one thing, but yeah, Kerri. So Kerri and I. So when we were working on this, we really for the last 7 years have been working on this. I used to make it and put everything in gallon jugs, and when I was doing this, probably 2 years ago, before we got serious about it, I put it in a gallon jug. We were doing taxes. I'll never ever forget. And I was skinning. Well, I had some raccoons and some possums and stuff in my shanty that I had to finish fleshing their hides and stuff. And I went out because I was doing taxes. I was just frustrated. I was like, man, I'm gonna go out in the shanty and we just finish fleshing these hides. And I went out there and I was sucking on Proverbs, and then came inside. Got day went on. Kerri and I just kept drinking it, and kind of just spurred the excitement of it, because it wasn't a joke. It was something we both enjoyed and both thought like hell we share this enjoyment, this flavor with whoever we can. And I guess that's what we try to do with everything, is try to share what we're doing with everybody, or as many people as we can. And that's what's been getting crazy. But
That's awesome. So when are you gonna release it then?
I'm just
You don't know yet?
This year for sure.
Yeah,
This
for sure.
year?
Yeah, we just need to find the right time.
And we're working on a video right now. We're almost ready for it. Because in my mind, I make all the videos. I do all the. My buddies help me with the most musical arrangements, and then I create all the videos, everything about them. And that takes time and me to make sure that it's not. A lot of times I look at it, I'm like, man, I should have put more time into that, but a lot of times it's in the middle of the summer when I shouldn't. But this, I don't know. We're on the right track to kind of make a fun little joke about it, and in that aspect, money behind us, pushing a a commercial or something. It's just us, and I don't know, just wanna do it for fun. I don't know.
Yes.
It's almost
For
crazy.
fun.
It's
Fun
almost
is a good
crazy.
word.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes it fun.
Yeah.
Cool. So tell us where they can find your winery. Where are you located
Yeah,
at?
for sure. So definitely follow us on Facebook and Instagram. We post all of our events on there. White Shutter Winery and Brewery. Pretty basic. And then we're right off of Route 30. I'm terrible at directions. I would try to give some sort of, off of Route 30 is all that I can really say.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you
It,
can
Right
it,
outside
sound,
our-
it sounds respectable.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah, I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah.
I will say
Big barn.
that I had trouble. Sorry, when I first came to Wyandot County, I didn't know where anything was.
Yeah.
As long as you have Google Maps and you type in White Shutter Winery,
Oh,
you'll find it.
yes.
And
100%.
I'm notorious at getting lost and not knowing where I am, I found it
Yes.
pretty easy.
Yeah,
Well,
because that
good.
was me and Greg Kimmel when we were coming out for the steak fry.
Yeah.
We got the tables and chairs. I hopped in the van with him, totally not even thinking she's not like, hasn't been everywhere yet.
Right.
We're going, and Greg goes, was Hannah supposed to follow us? And
Yeah.
I'm like,
No,
oh
you
yeah.
guys-
She wasn't even in the car yet.
No, you said follow
Yeah.
us, and I said okay, and then you peeled
Yeah.
off, and I was
And
like,
then
I have a
Greg's like,
5-minute
"Was
walk
Hannah
to
Where
my
is
car.
she? Where is she? I don't know.
Because we were parked, and she's got to walk to her car, and Greg's like, wasn't she supposed to follow us? And I'm like, she should find it. And I'm like, she's never even like been out
No,
here
right.
yet.
Not
'Cause I was
even
thinking
in
she's
town.
been there, but she found it, so it's easy.
Bravo.
Yeah.
I found
Bravo.
it. I used Google.
You're resourceful.
Yeah, you
It
can-
was
yeah.
a very charming place. I really want to go back with my friends.
Aw.
Yeah.
Super excited.
Because that's the thing. I think it's a
you.
mixture for everybody. So, I mean, whether you like beer, wine, like obviously, like I've taken plenty of family photos out there. It's like a
Yeah.
beautiful place to be. You can do your wedding.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys have like opened it to literally everybody.
We're hoping to. Our volleyball is on for this year.
still
Second
haven't
week of
played.
May. We're gonna
I'm a
do the
watcher.
volleyball.
I'm a
volleyball's fun.
watcher.
We're actually looking at taking our RV, adding it so we can have music,
Oh, nice.
bigger.
We're gonna have a slushy machine down there. The
Bigger
canned
sand
beach,
pit,
please.
um,
So we're gonna try to.
yeah,
make it
like
bigger.
every year when like local
Yeah.
supports us, like we kind of feel like to dig back into it.
Yeah,
and,
make it better.
add back. Yeah.
We're doing our 5K again. We're going to try to do it.
Oh, yeah.
As planned right now, it's in person, but if things change, we're either going to stagger the start time to be more COVID conscious or do it virtual again. As of right now, I have it planned for in person. That's May 15th, opening June 5th. We have music every Saturday, June, July, and August. And when we have music, we have a food truck. Those are the big things I think that I really kind
What
of
are
wanted
like
to
your
notice.
normal hours?
Thursdays and Fridays 5 to 9, Saturdays 3 to 9.
Okay.
On Saturdays music starts at 6. Food trucks are usually there around 6 too. So you can plan on eating and drinking and listening to some good tunes. We've got some new music this year too, actually. Yeah,
exciting.
new bands reached out.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're excited. We're like ready to roll. Hopefully
I'm
these
ready for it.
slushy pouches get here in the next week or two.
Yeah, I think those are going to be
You'll
a
start
game
to see us
changer.
rolling
Like,
those out.
literally, so what we try to do is something that like we try as much as possible, something no one's ever seen before. I mean,
Yeah.
hell, we live in a pretty big world. I mean, there's a lot of room for error and screw around.
Yeah.
And so we'll see. In about a week and a half, our slushy bags are supposed to arrive. I've never seen them. Carrie's never seen them. We
yeah.
have no idea. Like,
Um,
we've made a huge gamble on,
A company that we don't know much about.
on a small thing, and it's crazy. It's like it excites me because like my whole life is about like risk, reward, gambling.
yeah.
Actually, I don't gamble at all.
You
Like
just
my
gamble on
gamble
life.
is
You
like
gamble
yeah.
on life.
People in life.
Yeah, but I feel pretty confident about what we've done because we had to have something created out of nothing,
Yeah.
and it's almost the craziest, scariest thing to me.
I think
I've
also
got-
to
I've got
touch
some.
on the slushies, we'll probably still do the drive-throughs like last year. So as soon as we have one pouch completely
But-
ready to push,
but like
we'll do
this-
another drive-through.
Actually, here.
Yeah, we just poured another
Okay,
symbol
so
of.
this is the new
All right, I'm
blueberry.
gonna mix this here.
So we made a
It's good.
commercial already.
I love the color of it.
Yeah.
It's
so
bright
so this
blue.
is 100% like all of the slushies
Smell it, I know.
we make. It's 100% wine and it's 100% made out of real fruit extract. So that's real blueberry
Wow.
extract juice.
So this will be
You-
the new flavor of blueberry slushie.
So our
this year.
strawberry,
Wow, that's really good.
our strawberry is going to show a ton of seeds in it. Like the strawberry is actually the craziest one. Like it's so.
Are you bringing
strong.
strawberry back?
Yeah. Well, the
Yeah.
strawberry slush.
Oh.
This is new. So blueberry will be a new flavor this year that you all are trying right now.
Yeah.
Strawberry will be a new flavor,
Yeah.
and the peach mango, which was in the machines last year
Yep.
but wasn't canned, will be our
I'm
other.
gonna try that.
Yeah.
Because that was like
We're excited.
like a peach creamy kind of. It was really good.
Yes. Super.
And that's what I think.
That was
like
a
the
popular
beer,
one.
the beer slush reminds me of like I don't want to like the creamsicle things.
Absolutely.
That's what it reminds me of.
100% a
It
creamsicle.
reminds because at first I was like, oh, beer slushy, like that's rough.
I know, it sounds
And then I
weird.
tried. I'm like, this is like drinking like a dreamsicle.
Right. So now we
It's
can
so
say
good.
it's a seltzer.
But
is
you
the
would
base.
have thought.
Yeah. Right. So a
Yeah.
seltzer
Yeah.
slushy,
Well,
the taste of a creamsicle.
that's-
My sister, actually, Megan was the one who was pouring it over vanilla ice cream. That was one of her like moments with Megan last year.
Yeah.
It was like over vanilla ice cream, and it was amazing.
Oh my
Like a
gosh.
boozy milkshake.
Well, that's always been like almost the most comical thing to me is when people are like, "This is, like you say, you're like a beer slushy. That's crazy."
Yeah.
And I've always like laughed at that and like, like I mean, I don't care. Like it's, I think it's gonna work, and if it doesn't, it doesn't.
Yeah. But it like blows your
it's,
mind. Like you're like,
yeah.
oh, beer slushy, that's weird. And
Yeah,
you're like, oh
like-
man, this is delicious.
Right.
Like,
like
you've done that.
confidence in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It tastes just like the creamsicle.
It's delicious.
Yeah. So we're
That's it.
excited to get
It
our
is.
5 new flavors
Well, it's
out
fun.
to people.
Yeah,
for sure.
It's fun.
So I guess,
Yeah.
to sort of wrap things up on our end,
Yes.
I would say just follow us on Facebook. Keep up with what we're doing in our social media world. We're going to try to keep things as updated as possible. We can't wait to see everybody. Hopefully things are a little more normal this year for us and for everyone else.
Well,
But thank you for having
Yes,
us.
thank
for
you for
coming.
coming on
This was
here.
so fun.
Yeah, so thanks again to Kerri and Jake from Shutter Winery Brewery. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Yes.